The hospital hallway smelled like antiseptic and silence. Daniel Carter sat alone on a hard plastic chair, staring at a piece of paper that felt heavier than anything he had ever carried in his life. $48,732. The number blurred as tears filled his eyes. That was the cost of saving his daughter. Inside room 214, 7-year-old Emma lay motionless beneath thin white sheets. Machines beeped softly around her, each sound a reminder that time was running out. She had always been a bright, energetic child. She loved drawing suns with smiling faces and believed that every cloud had a story. But now, she barely had the strength to hold her crayon. "Daddy, are we going home soon?" she whispered weakly when Daniel walked in. He forced a smile. "Soon, sweetheart. Very soon." But deep down, he wasn't sure if that was a promise or a lie. Over the past year, Daniel had lost almost everything. First, his wife left, unable to handle the stress of constant hospital visits and mounting debt. Then, he lost his job after taking too many days off to care for Emma. He picked up whatever work he could find: night shifts, delivery jobs, cleaning offices. He sold his car, pawned his wedding ring, even skipped meals so Emma could eat. But no matter how hard he tried, it was never enough. One evening, a doctor sat beside him. "Mr. Carter," he said gently, "your daughter needs surgery within the next 48 hours. Daniel nodded slowly. "And the cost?" he asked, already knowing the answer. The doctor hesitated. "It's significant." Later that night, a nurse approached him quietly. "I'm really sorry," she said. "The hospital requires an initial payment before the surgery can be scheduled." Daniel let out a hollow laugh. "How much?" "Half." Half, even half, was impossible. That night, Daniel didn't go home. He sat outside the hospital on cold concrete steps, staring at the empty street. Cars passed. People walked by. Life went on. But for him, everything had stopped. He buried his face in his hands and cried. Not quietly, not like a strong man trying to hold it together, but like a father who knew he might lose his child. Unbeknownst to him, someone heard him. The next morning, Daniel walked back inside, exhausted, eyes red, body heavy. He approached the front desk. Before he could speak, the receptionist smiled warmly. "Mr. Carter?" He nodded slowly. "Your daughter's surgery has been approved." For a moment, the world went silent. "I'm sorry." "What?" "It's been fully paid," she said. Daniel's knees almost gave out. "Who paid it?" he asked, his voice shaking. The receptionist handed him a small, plain envelope. Inside was a note. Simple. No name. No signature. No child should suffer because of money. Take care of her. Someone who understands pain. Daniel read it again and again. His vision blurred. He didn't know whether to laugh or collapse. The surgery took hours. Daniel waited outside, pacing back and forth, replaying every moment of Emma's life in his head. Her first steps, her laughter, the way she called him my hero. Finally, the doctor walked out. It was successful. Daniel broke down right there in the hallway. Not from sadness this time, but from overwhelming relief. Days passed. Emma slowly regained her strength. Color returned to her cheeks. Her voice grew stronger. Her laughter came back. "Daddy," she said one morning, smiling, "I knew you'd fix everything." Daniel turned away for a moment because he knew he hadn't done this alone. Weeks later, Emma was discharged. Before leaving, Daniel made one promise to himself. He would find the person who saved his daughter. He asked nurses, doctors, administrators. No one knew anything. no records, no names, just anonymous donor. Then one afternoon, as Daniel returned to the hospital for a follow-up visit, he noticed something. A janitor, an older man, quietly mopping the floor in the pediatric ward. His uniform was worn. His shoes were old, but his movements were gentle, careful, almost respectful. Daniel watched as the man stopped by a child's bed and adjusted a fallen blanket. Not part of his job, but he did it anyway. Something felt familiar. Then Daniel saw it. A clipboard. And on it, handwriting. His heart skipped. The curves, the style. It was the same. Daniel approached him slowly. "Excuse me," he said. The man looked up, tired eyes, kind face. "Was it you?" Daniel asked, holding the note. The old man stared at it for a long moment. Then he sighed. "I didn't want you to know." Daniel's voice broke. "Why would you do that? For us?" The man leaned on his mop. "Because years ago," he said quietly, "I sat exactly where you sat." Daniel froze. "My son," the man continued, "needed surgery. I couldn't afford it." His voice trembled. I watched him slip away, knowing money was the only thing standing between him and life. Silence filled the hallway. "After that," he said, "I promised myself, if I ever had the chance to stop that from happening to someone else." He looked at Daniel. "I would." Daniel couldn't hold back anymore. He stepped forward and hugged the man tightly. "Thank you. You saved her. You saved my world." The old man smiled faintly. Then he said something Daniel would never forget. "Don't thank me. Just pass it on." That day, Daniel understood something deeper than money, deeper than loss. Kindness doesn't come from wealth. It comes from pain that chooses not to repeat itself.